Good morning, welcome back. Hey, last week I did a devotional that was based on something by Paul David Tripp, and I talked about the term being a grace graduate. And I confessed, I'm not a grace graduate. Well, I kind of borrowed that phrase from one devotional and tacked it on to another one. But I want to do kind of part two with that, because he talks about how easy it is to rationalize. How easy it is to rationalize, well, you know, my sin's not so bad. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrap up with Psalm 32, which is just a great psalm about really living in the state of grace. So here are some of our rationalizations, and I think these are pretty good. Well, that really wasn't gossip. It was just a very detailed, very personal prayer request. I wasn't angry at my kids. I was just acting as one of God's prophets. Thus says the Lord. That wasn't really lust. I just have a deep appreciation for beauty. I'm not on an ugly quest for personal power. No, I'm just exercising God-given leadership gifts. I'm not cold-hearted and stingy. I'm just trying to be a good steward of what God has given to me. I wasn't being proud. I just thought someone needed to take control of the conversation. Me. It wasn't really a lie. It was just a different way of recounting the facts. We're good at rationalizing things, aren't we? I think all of us are. And then there's this psalm. It's a psalm of David, and he knew a thing or two about sinning. This is not Psalm 51. That's another one. But this one, I think, is maybe, well, in some ways it's a little bit more positive. Let's take a look at it. Oh, what a joy for those whose disobedience is forgiven, whose sin is put out of sight. Yes, what joy for those whose record the Lord has cleared of guilt, whose lives are lived in complete honesty. See, that's the key. We can rationalize, I didn't do anything wrong, or we can be honest and say, I really messed up there, Lord. And here's the difference. One gets to obtain mercy, grace, and forgiveness, and the other just kind of stays stuck in the same place. No, we need to confess. And when we do, then we receive the grace. And the grace is something we're never, ever going to outgrow. And then the psalmist David goes on, when I refused to confess my sin, my body wasted away, and I groaned all day long. And he goes on to say he felt like God's hand was upon him. And I've had times in my life where it's just kind of like, I feel like I must be fighting God, because I'm kind of running into a cosmic, eternal brick wall, but we don't have to. And then in verse 5, I love this. Finally, I confessed all my sins to you and stopped trying to hide my guilt. I said to myself, I will confess my rebellion to the Lord. And you forgave me. All my guilt is gone. Isn't that great? So rejoice in the Lord and be glad, all you who obey him. Shout for joy, all you whose hearts are pure. Our hearts aren't pure to start with, but we can bring the stuff that, and it's the stuff that we think he'd least like to hear, but he wants to get it out of our lives. He wants to purify us. So allow him to do that. Psalm 32, if you haven't read it before, I shared about half of it. Make that a meditation of yours this week. And let's not be grace graduates. We never outgrow it, and God continues to offer it. Have a great day.